Piers Morgan made to apologize via attorneys from Sean, Jay-Z, and Beyonce Carter. This wasn't a cease and desist. This was an ultimatum. Let's get into it.
Ooh, you are listening to the Billy Flint Experience.
Thank you so much for joining me once again to the Billy Flint Experience. I am your host, Billy Flint. You're coming live here from Germany on this rainy night. Hope everyone is doing well on this midweek. Is it midweek? Yes, it is Wednesday. Yes, the news is traveling fast. The news is traveling fast. I seem to can't keep up with it, but interestingly enough, we're going to get into the show, but this is really, really interesting. And I say that because I was just talking about this 2 days ago. A couple of days ago, I was just saying all of the content creators on YouTube seem to have this fascination with creating these false narratives and this misinformation, all for clicks and likes. And to my surprise, things are happening in the way that I was saying that it was going to happen. That people are going to be held liable for information that they post on their platform. I guess that a lot of people are getting tired of the BS. So we have Mr. Piers Morgan, a UK journalist, if that's what you want to call him. For the past couple of weeks, he's been broadcasting a lot of information about this the Sean Diddy Combs debacle, and allegations and accusations, but the one thing that took place is I think it was last week, or maybe it was early. Yeah, it was last week that he had a host or a couple of hosts on his show, which was Jaguar, Wright. And she, I don't know, the information that she brought onto his show was a lot of misinformation and false allegations towards Sean Carter and his wife, Beyonce Carter. Well, yes, I watched the broadcast, and I was saying then, after, and I did a podcast about it, that to me she seemed to be unhinged. But that's neither here nor there. The information that she was talking about on his show was misinformation, and it wasn't true. And because of the fact that it was on Piers Morgan's show, Sean Carter, attorney, stepped in to shut it down. And I said earlier that it's interesting that it happened this way, because the apology that Piers Morgan offered up on, which was yesterday, was the same broadcast that had Choke No Joke as one of the guests. And again, the same thing happened. Choke No Joke was spreading misinformation. And we're about to see something repeating itself. I don't know. It was interesting because earlier today, Choke No Joke did have a live broadcast. And I was actually up. I think here in Germany it was on at maybe 5 a.m, I believe. And it was, like I said, it was a live. It was because I got the sign or the signal saying that it was live. It was a live broadcast. But then when I clicked on it, it wasn't there anymore. So I don't know whether or not he scrapped it. He took it off, or maybe he's editing it. I don't know, but it wasn't there when I clicked on it. So I'm pretty much sure. I don't know. Maybe he got smart about it and decided to not broadcast it. But again, the attorneys after Piers Morgan, but we're going to play the apology, because again, this is the same day, the same broadcast that he offered this apology that Choke No Joke was on. So we're going to listen to his apology.
The shocking allegations levelled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims about an industry many people believe harboured a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze with claims about these events and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves. But now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact. And we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Okay, you see, again, Piers Morgan should have known better. But because of the fact that he wants to be a part of this circus, this three-ring circus where he is, I don't want to, I'm not going to say it. He wants to be the leader of this three-ring circus and draw in the likes and the clicks and the views because of this hot topic connected to Sean Diddy Combs. And again, I like I said, as I predicted, that this was going to happen sooner or later, that a lot of these content creators that, and it's interesting that a lot of them are getting away with it now because of the fact that I'm assuming that when it comes to lawyers or cease and desist or lawsuits or whatever, it costs money to actually prepare for these cease and desists, or even costs money to even for seek out litigation. So a lot of these content creators are not even worth it because they don't have anything to go after in the first place. So they're like a small fish in a big pond. So I guess they're saying, okay, well, we're not going to worry about it. But when these individuals go on to a larger platform like Piers Morgan's platform, which he has over 3 million subscribers, and if you look at his numbers as far as viewers, they're well over 1 million. And I think I think for this month, The largest viewership was, I think it probably went up from, but I think it was like 3.5 million viewers for someone like Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is from the UK. He's not even in the United States. He's in the UK. He's in England. So that says a lot based on the information or based on his content about what's going on in America. He's getting a lot of views. I don't know whether most of the views are coming from America or it's split half and half to the viewers in the UK. I don't know, but he has a lot of viewers and a lot of subscribers. So I guess it's safe to say he's making a lot of money. Plus to the fact that maybe sponsorships or maybe other companies that he's connected with, who knows. But Jay-Z's attorney, Sean Jay-Z Carter's attorneys, decided to shut it down. Made him apologize. And this is taken from TMZ, where it says Jay-Z and Beyonce furious over Diddy comparison. Attorney Alex Spiro rips Piers Morgan's show. Jay-Z and Beyonce are livid at Piers Morgan's for airing an interview with some vague but serious allegations against them. And their attorney is questioning Piers' ethics. The Carter's attorney, Alex Spiro, joined us on TMZ Live Wednesday, which was today, and we asked him about Jay's and Bey's response to Piers' show, uncensored broadcasting an interview with Jaguar Wright, who claimed the couple had more victims than Diddy. Unfounded information. She has no information or anything to back up these claims. And I need to stop there and say that, you have this conspiracy theory where people are saying, oh, well, there's tapes. Jaguar Wright have said on Piers Morgan's show when it aired, of course, that part is taken out, so. But she definitely stated that she had a team of girls or whatever, guys, girls. She had a team of people with concealed cameras, and they were going to these freak off parties or these white parties or whatever. And that she has recording and footage. Okay, so if that is the case, she's throwing stones at glass houses. She's making these wild accusations. We're saying that Diddy is doing this and Diddy is doing that. But at the same time, she's a part of the same party. If she has these people, quote unquote, that is filming these freak offs, well, what are her models or, I don't know, her girls or, is she a madam? I don't know. She has these people going to these parties also that is doing the filming. What is the point? Is she looking at these tapes? Is she enjoying the footage herself? I don't know. But then you have other people who say, well, the footage is on the dark web. As a matter of fact, I was listening to a podcast earlier today where one of the callers actually commented when the host of the podcast asked her, well, you can't make those allegations. How do you know? Have you seen the footage? And this young lady said, yeah, I've seen the footage. And he says, how? She says, well, they're on the dark web. Well, my question to that is, well, what was she doing on the dark web? What is anyone doing on the dark web looking up footage of these videos? Again, you can't throw stones at glass houses. You can't go after all of the so-called people that are supposedly being in these videos, these athletes and entertainers. And people are saying that, well, they should be held accountable because they allowed this to happen. They didn't say anything. They just allowed it to happen. Well, the same thing should be that they should be held at. They should be held responsible, because you have to say, well, what are you doing looking at this footage? Why are you looking for this footage? Is it like rubbernecking when you see an accident on a highway, you just have to look? I digress. Okay, it continues to say, Alex says Piers was exploiting the rumor mill by allowing these false allegations to hit the airwaves. And he says he gave Piers an ultimatum: remove the claims and apologize, or face a court order to take the interview down. So it wasn't a cease and desist. This was like an ultimatum. It's more like you either take it down or we'll get a judge to step in, which is a lot, much more serious than just a letter to say, okay, well, we want you to take it down. Continues to say, Jay and Bay's attorney says Jaguar's allegations are demonstrably false, and Piers should never have allowed the claims to be made on his show, blasting Piers as an irresponsible so-called journalist. Okay, we're going to listen to I have the recording, which was taken from TMZ, of the attorney Alex Spiro, the attorney of Sean Jay-Z Carter. Take a listen to it.
This must have been shocking to you that somebody comes on a show and then kind of levels these vague-ish allegations. Were you kind of ready for something like this to eventually happen?
Listen, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, right? This is a pointed and formal accusation of something, and I felt it needed to be responded to. So I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum, which is remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. And so I think he made the wise choice and acted accordingly.
He meaning Piers Morgan.
Removing it and apologizing for it, yes. What changed here in my mind is that somebody on a so-called journalistic platform exploited that kind of random rumor mill, whether it's disconnected from reality or what have you, and lifted it up. And by doing that, you know, they not only caused harm here, but they are also droning out the voices of real victims. And by doing that to get clicks, it didn't just harm the Carters. What he did effectively was to drone out the voices of actual victims in an ongoing case, in an ongoing investigation. And that was too much for me.
Are you in the process of making sure that it is taken down everywhere?
What I am here to say is that in a situation as serious as this, somebody who puts themselves out as a journalist should not effectively take advantage of the situation and exploit somebody in this way. And so that's the real reason for action.
Does it strike you a little bit that there's been a lot of silence in Hollywood in the wake of all of this?
Well, as to the Carters, you know, I can tell you that when they put their foot down on something, as they did here, you know, they are sending a message. And if they can't stand up and make sure right from wrong, then who can? I've always believed that the truth will come out in courtrooms, and I'm sure the truth will come out here.
Okay, so again, that was Alex Spiro, Sean Jay-Z Carter's attorney, speaking on the ultimatum that they had given Piers Morgan, in which Piers Morgan did apologize for. But again, like I said, this was the same day that Choke No Joke was on. And interestingly enough, again, it happened once more. And I want to say this. The information that Choke No Joke was actually presenting on his show had something to do with a couple of individuals. Goes by the name of Gene Dill. Gene Dill was a bodyguard of Sean Diddy Combs during the 90s. And Choke No Joke's allegation was Gene Dill had the $1 million check that Diddy had handed over for the unaliving payment of Tupac Shakur. Today on Doggy Diamond's podcast, Gene Dill actually called in to refute those claims and basically called Choke No Joke out as, again, spreading misinformation. And I have a little clip of what Gene Dill had said. Gene Dill was very angry, and respectfully so, he should be. We're going to listen to the audio is low, but I tried to adjust it, so we're going to listen to it.
Yo, this dude went out here and told a blatant lie on you and me. And he said I came on your channel and said that I saw the check that Puff gave Eric Von Zip $1 million. I said it on your channel, and you corrected me. And I said, no, or some other bullshit. The nigga just told a blatant lie on me and you, brother, on Piers Morgan. All because Piers Morgan got this clown-ass nigga up there, all because I would not go on his show. I saw the check, and I think I said, I saw the check for Tupac. I said, and that's no, not for Tupac, but I saw the check for $1 million that that Zip had got for the from Jimmy Hitchman, and Jimmy Hitchman said it was for Black Ground Records. But old boy went on there saying that it was for the Puff. Yo, listen here, he wanna be in this shit so bad. He wanna be a part of something so bad. Now you in it. Cause I don't play them games, bro. I don't play them games. First of all, I'm having my lawyer contact, my lawyer contact Fox when they put that lie up about me. My lawyer contact Fox, they did a retractment and sent us a letter. Now, you think Piers he just, he just did an apology to Beyonce and Jay-Z. I'm looking for damages. I ain't looking for no motherfucking apology.
Okay, now what? I'm not trying to stir the pot and create tension between two different content creators, but this is about presenting your information at being concise, proper information, and that we all should be held liable for spreading misinformation and defamation of character or slanderous accusation towards an individual. It's very hurtful. And it's not only that individual that you're going after, but it's also their families that are connected to that individual. And it's also, especially if the information is incorrect, if it's not true, it's conspiracy theory, but it's also connected to the companies that they're dealing with, and it hurts their money. So it gets to the point to where it's like we should all be held liable for spreading disinformation. If you want to be a journalist or you want to create right and proper content for your platform, then do that. do the proper research, because this is a big enough platform. Then there's enough information. We live in an age of information. It's not very hard to research facts. It's not very hard to do that. It's not very hard to draw from your sources or your references. But I think we're living in an age where everyone is just trying to go viral. Everyone is just on this thing of wanting to be messy. And I hate to say it, but it seems as though this is only happening amongst black people on YouTube. It's like most content creators, they're either at each other's throat, or they have these beefs and they're going back and forth, or they're just straight out creating false information. And it gets to the point to where it's like, I only listen, or I only, follow a few content creators that are very, not only entertaining, but their content that they create is very interesting to listen to. It's very informative. And at times I learn new things from these content creators. So that has always been my thing. Is that, are we going to live for the truth of things, or are we going to continue to spread this misinformation to where all that's going to be on YouTube is junk, messiness? And personally, I don't want to be a part of that. I'm going to continue to present my content as being direct, factual, concise information. So thank you so much for joining me once again on the Billy Flint Experience. I'm your host, Billy Flint. And as always, I wish everyone a good night, or a good afternoon, or good evening, and a better tomorrow. As always, stay safe. Be careful out there. Be with you again soon.
Go on, you've got another 5 seconds. Say something outrageous.
You dirty bastard.
Go on, again.
You dirty fucker.
What a clever boy.
What a fucking rotter.
Well, that's it for tonight.